Hello, ineffable being. How are you doing? Hope you're having an amazing, magical, wonderful day. I want to share with you that you're a genius. You are special. You mean the world, and you are loved. Today's topic is live your dream today. Start living your dream today. And I love this topic because these couple of words have changed my life. And I want to start with you where it all began with me. Where and when is it that I realized what my dream was, and then how I started molding myself, preparing myself in that way, and the person that has impacted me the most along my journey, and when I realized the importance of this, of living my dream today. So for me, my dream became known after my first awakening. This happened to me about, my first awakening happened about 18, 19 years old. And what this is, we all know it, whenever our brain presents the fact that we have a mind and it's going to be here forever and it's here to stay. So beyond that, I started living, and of course my life, as yours might have been, changed forever. Why? I couldn't go to my parents, I couldn't go to a doctor. There was no one out there really that gave the answers, that gave me the tools that I needed. So after this, I started building, as you have been doing along your journey, building your own belief system, creating ideas about life, about how to live, how to contribute to your internal self and to your exterior self. So this has been a very lonely road for all of us, has it not? So I decided that this doesn't make sense. Why is the most common, this is the most known thing about the human being, but at the same time it is the least known. You know what? I make a living now out of something that whenever I went to my parents, they told me, Luis, you need to see a psychiatrist, you need to go see a psychologist. You're crazy, we don't know what you're saying. And I'm literally now, 5 years down the road, I am making a living out of what they used to tell me I needed to go to a psychiatrist. They wanted to feed me pills, and now I am changing and impacting lives. So I'm telling you today, you have to live your dream today because there's no time for tomorrow. So let me digress because I just got really excited there. But this was my reality. I didn't know up from down, and I was finding answers. So I decided, and I believed in my heart deeply, and I still do, and I will stand by it the rest of my life, that the brain, consciousness, evolution, um, to think or to not think, creating elevated emotions, all of this should be the foundation of humanity's life. I should know, I should have known how to think before I went to school. Now you might laugh at me, and I hope you do, because it is really amusing. I can look back and say, wow, I literally never knew how to think. Now, I don't know about you, but my parents would tell me, Luis, you have to think before you act. You have to think before you speak. If I got in trouble, the first thing they say is, why didn't you think about the consequences? You know what? Growing up, prior to my first awakening, I had no idea what thinking was. I thought it was just some automated, autopilot type of scenario. I literally never knew how to think till I was 18. I went through school. I taught myself how to drive. I I had sexual relations, and my pull-out game was amazing. In essence, I say that only to say, like, I mean, maybe thinking's not that important. Because why? Because we drive, because we can cook, because we have jobs, because we have relationships, because some people make money, because we go through school, we graduate. So then our first awakening hits us, and we're like, wait, of course you're not going to understand how and why and the effects of thinking, because you've never done it. And this was my reality, and I hope this humors you, because it's really astonishing, quite frankly. But I decided that all this pain and suffering I went through, to realize the science of epigenetics, to realize that my emotions and my thoughts change an outcome in my future. I should not have ended up 100,000 miles away. I should not have not almost died, but I should not have committed attempted suicide. I should not have lost my jobs, lost my relationships, just to learn something that is so basic, so very basic. And I decided to make my life dedicated to showing us that it's just a box. It's just a voice. You can either talk or you can just listen. It's one or the option. And I always show the science, right? What happens if we're not conscious versus what happens and what are the possibilities if you live a conscious life. So that is my dream. So why am I telling you right now to live out your dream? So I found the answers for myself. And I have about 5 years living through the heart. So it all started, okay, I understood it for myself 100%. I had faith, it made sense, especially whenever we listen to, mystics, Sadhguru, even science. Dr. Joe Dispenza, epigenetics. Epi means above the genes. Epigenetics basically tells us that it's not the gene that creates the disease. It's the environment that signals the gene and then creates disease. And the question then is, well, can I signal the emotion ahead of the experience, elevating my emotional state, hence bettering, cultivating better genes? The answer is absolutely yes. But this isn't a scientific video. I've created 130 topics and I break this down for you on every single topic. But today, I'm telling you, you got to live your dream today, because I used to think, even from day one, whenever I decided what my passion was, before I was conscious, I already knew I wanted to share this. This was my dream. This was my purpose. But I always thought I needed the money to advertise, to do my dream. And it didn't hit me until 4 years down the road, until 2 years after living through my dream. And that was the realization was, you know what? My dream is to share my knowledge, my understanding of life. That's my dream. My dream has nothing to do with the amount of reach that I get. Sure, I want to reach 1 billion people, but my dream, the seed of my dream, is to share my knowledge. It doesn't matter what your dream is. If you want to be a teacher, an astronaut, a ball player, a singer, there is something you can do today to start moving in that direction. But you know what? The analytical mind is going to tell you, hey, you know what? You need money. You need to lose weight. You need that partner. You need a good network. You need a strong influence to live your dream. But that's a lie, and that's your unconscious brain telling you, keeping you from literally doing your dream. So now let me tell you, I decided my dream. I started living through the heart. Now I was like, okay, now I actually know mechanistically, as there is a science and technology for our exterior well-being, there is a science and technology for inner well-being. And I started living this life. So now I wasn't just blindly, wanting to share. Now I actually knew how to teach people and duplicate the results. So I started duplicating the results. I started with like my best friend, a nurse, and co-workers. It was all very off social media, off the network, the internet, but I was still making an impact. But my dream was always to share it with the public, share it with the masses, right? And one day it hit me, like, I can just start making videos every single day, post them on YouTube, talking about, making topics about the foundation, about living through your heart. And I started doing that. That then translated into, I also do daily posts through my social media, quotes from my mentors, Sadhguru, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and so many others. And then now what? I also do a monthly masterclass, and now I'm working on a corporate training. I mean, everything starts when you start living your dream. But the illusion is we need the money, the people around us, the correct connections to start living your dream. But that's a lie, and I'm a living proof. Sure, you might laugh hearing this. Oh, you have, I don't know how many followers I have, but I am living my dream. So if your dream is money, then go behind money. But if your dream is to be a singer, to be a skateboarder, to be an artist, a painter, it doesn't matter what your dream is. I promise you, there is something you can be doing today, and that will get you to your dream. There's something you could do today that results in you living your dream. Whether it be practicing, if you want to be a painter, you pick up that paintbrush and you paint every single day, or you research, you read books on painting. It doesn't, the end result isn't our dream. I promise you, the end result is not being famous or the money. It is living and actively doing what you're passionate about. And you can do that without the money, without the influence. And I have faith, and I carry it in my heart that I know that, well, I decided I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. So you know what? It doesn't matter, like, it can be 5, 10, 20 years till I reach the mass, the impact, the global impact that I want. And that's just an after effect, right? But the whole journey, I'm gonna be living my dream. So I can wait 5, 10 years, 20 years down the road to reach a bigger audience, because every single day I'm living my dream, and I invite you to do the same. I hope, oh, I did say I was going to talk about one of my biggest mentors, and I'll share with you this very quickly. One of my biggest mentors, his name is Sadhguru. Whenever he was 25 years old, he shares that his internal system started firing away, and he noticed it doesn't matter what he's doing. He closes his eyes, he's ecstatic, he feels amazing, and he said, I want to share this with the world. At that point, I don't know how many years ago this was, but he was 25, he's about 50, so let's just give it 30 years ago. At that point, there was 5.6 billion people on the planet. He made a goal that in 2.5 years, I want to share this with everybody on the planet. That was his goal, and he started living it. And he tells a story that, well, a lot of beard, long hair, 30, 50 years down the road, and, well, they say that I've impacted 500 million people. So, people are like, wow, I mean, that's amazing. But he says, well, don't wow I haven't reached my goal, and I probably never will, but I'm going to live a pleasant death, knowing that at least I was moving in that direction. I was doing the things day in and day out that is my dream. So, my dream is a little bit bigger than his. So I look at it as like, you know what, like, wow, I want to reach well, actually his was pretty big, but I want to reach 1 billion people. Needless to say that my dream is pretty big, right? And is that going to stop me? Am I going to wait till I have money? You know why not? Before I made my first video, I talked to someone very close to me. I talked to someone very close to me, very, very dear to me, and I didn't reveal my we were just catching up, and she shared with me, hey, yeah, so I asked her about her family, and she was like, yeah, my brother, my stepbrother, he's going through the same experience you were, talking about God, and we just don't know what to do with him. So a little backstory, my family thought I was bonkers. My family didn't understand me, and so forth. They thought I needed pills and all these things that, sure, I mean, bless their heart for having that belief system. But when this person close to me told me this, I realized I had already decided my dream, but it validated my purpose in this world. Because I believe, as Sadhguru says, my mentor, what the human being suffers is a vivid sense of memory and a extraordinary sense of imagination. That's what I suffered. And I knew, hearing the words out of my loved one, speaking about her loved one, that they're suffering the same thing that I'm suffering, or that I was suffering. That there is no one, we can't turn to our parents to go and talk to them about these things, and that's all he's suffering. And now society, his loved one is thinking like, man, he's going crazy. So that was a big day for me, because after the call, I got very emotional, because it validated what I'm doing. And not only that, my girlfriend, she started off like as a student, taking my teachings, and now she's an amazing light being, wholeheartedly living like her best life, cured anxiety, depression. She's an amazing, works so hard, she's in school, she's the light of her family. And I've been impacting people day in and day out in India and Central America. And sure, it's not the billion people that I want to reach, but if I can do it for one person, I know I can do it for everybody. And it's just one step at a day, one day at a time. So I invite you to decide on your dream, and to start doing just one thing that is in relation regarding your dream today, and do it every single day, because you don't know when your big break is going to come. But I will tell you this, the later you start, the later your big break is going to come. And that's a fact. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's invited you to live out your passion, to not wait, to not have fear, to not have expectations, and just to start living your dream today. Please comment below what topics you'd like for me to cover in the future. And also, give it a big thumbs up. Share this video with your loved ones, mastermind group, partners, social media accounts. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I hope to see you in the side of light. Goodbye.